Hey, folks, welcome to another edition of Sticks and Stones. Yeah, I'm a day late. I won't lie about it. It's just cold as hell yesterday, and I wasn't going to be out here. So I did go to the cigar shop, smoke one. But anyway, got a great show. I think you're really going to like it. Hope you like my new Stetson Open Road. This is a tip of the hat, as they would say, to my great grandfather, who I never ever remember him having his open road off. Always wore it. So anyway, so I hope you like it. I like it. I think it's pretty cool. Uh, I am pairing today uh, Highland Park 12-year uh, Viking honor with a my father La Antiguedad Robusto. I think it's going to be a great matchup. So we're just going to go ahead and dive right in. This is kind of a old world pairing of smoke, spice, and a hint of sweetness. Um, the Highland Park, it's distilled in Orkney, the island of Orkney, and it it sits at kind of at the crossroads of um, Highland Scotch and Island Scotch. Um, Island Scotches are known to be a little saltier, a little brinier, uh, because there's so much access to the sea. The uh, uh, the Scotch islands are generally not very big, so they have a lot of access to the sea breezes. This is a 12-year-old single malt that is seasoned in predominantly European and American oak uh, sherry seasoned casks. So sherry casks or butts, however you want to call it. It's lightly peated, which is great for me because I'm not a high heat, high smoke kind of guy. The Islay scotches are typically a little bit too much for my palate, uh, and but it does have this locally cut there on the island, kind of heather rich peatiness to it. The result is a really nice balance malt known for harmony rather than excess. So, we got all that kind of stuff going for us. If you understood all that, take a look at it. I know you can understand this. Take a look at it in the glass. It's got a beautiful, beautiful light golden color, kind of a very deep, ripened wheat look. You got wheat fields um, on the nose. That's got a really good nose to it. I get kind of a heathery smokiness, some honeyed malt, some really nice notes of like dried orange peel. There's some very nice soft baking spices in there, like cinnamon, nutmeg, clove, that kind of thing. And there's also just a slight hint of brine, so a little bit of salinity to it. It's a really good smelling scotch. It really is. So let's go ahead and give it a try. That is very light and bright on the palate. It's not thick and oily. It's got a nice, uh, gentle, peaty smoke to it. There's honey and vanilla, some toasted oak, a little bit of like nutmeg and cinnamon. There's kind of a dried fruit sweetness, like like raisins or dates or something like that, dried fruit. Um, and then there's also that little bit of coastal salinity to it as well. I was so excited and got to go in here. I forgot to check and see if I was actually on live on X. I hope I am. It didn't pull up, so too late. Anyway, this is 43% alcohol by volume, so it's 86 proof. Uh, I think you'll really like it. It is. I really like Highland Park. I kind of, I don't know, stayed away from it for a while, not for any particular reason, just because. Uh, but then when I did get it, there I am, right there. I'm kind of feeling back in. All right, kind of getting a little feedback there. All right, so anyway, we're going to move on. The La Antiguedad by my father. Any of you that know my father's cigars know the quality that they are known for. Um, the La Antiguedad is, it's a separate line from my father. It's a little bit more budget friendly. Some of my fathers are a little higher on the price scale. Not terrible. I mean, we're not talking, you know, well, like I spent $40 on a Opus X a couple of weeks ago, 20th anniversary, and it was a good smoke. It was. $40. Yeah, you know, it's just kind of the way it is. Um, this particular kind of cigar, the La Antiguedad, pays homage to the kind of Cuban era tradition that's blended by Jose Pepin Garcia. For those of you that happen to know who I'm talking about, and pretty much anybody that smokes premium cigars, they know that name. With aged tobaccos, Nicaraguan tobaccos. I only had a couple of sips, I promise. And it's got a very rich Habano wrapper on it. The Robusto Vitola should deliver a kind of a dense and structured smoke that uh, that will evolve in depth while maintaining balance as we go along. Um, Visually, it's rather, you know, rough looking cigar. Sorry, it's still chilly out here, and there's been something hitting my allergies this morning. It's kind of a medium brown. It does have some molting to it. Uh, the veins are visible, and some of them are fairly pronounced, but there's not a lot of them. It's not a heavily veined leaf, and this may have one of the no, yeah, that does look like a large cap on one side. Anyway, it's got a double cap on it. So on the nose, the first thing I get off of it is some notes of like dried hay, and then I get a little bit of cedar and some cocoa powder and a little bit of earthiness, and then some notes of like a sweet tobacco. All right, let's give it a cut. Going with my normal V cut on the cold draw. I get some very nice notes of raisins and molasses. There's a little bit of light pepper in there, not a lot, but there's just a little. And there's some nice notes of like toasted bread, so toast. You know. Uh, anyway, let's go ahead and fire it up. I don't think it is visible on the camera, but I have a fire going right in front of the camera. You may hear it flickering in the background as the wind kind of blows it around. It's a natural gas little tabletop because it's still kind of chilly here today, even though it's in the mid to upper 50s. There's a kind of a chilly breeze blowing, and you know we're from Texas, so right off, I get some really good notes of cedar and some sweet spice and a little bit of cocoa. I think there's some cedar in there. On the retro, I get some really good notes of leather and pepper, and a little bit of maybe a little bit of oakiness in there. Those of you uh, that follow me on X and Instagram see that I posted a picture of this pairing yesterday. I typically try to buy a 5 pack, or if I'm buying singles, I at least buy 2. That way, I can smoke one, test it out, see how it's going to go, and then go from there. Hmm. All right, together. Mm. The uh, the Highland Park's kind of restrained peatiness and honeyed sweetness. They kind of act as a kind of a counterbalance for the La Antiguedad's rich kind of Nicaraguan core. Uh, the Scotch lifts the cigar's cocoa and dried fruit notes, while the cigar kind of deepens the whiskey's spiciness and oak. Telling you, good stuff. This is um, a very mellow pairing. It's not, neither one is like a very overpowering offering, and they are blending very very well together. Um, I think it's pretty good myself. That's all I got to say about that. This is a really good cigar, and it's very budget friendly. Uh, I bought it in 5 pack. I think I spent somewhere around $30 or $35 at the most. I'd have to go back and look for sure, but yeah, when you're talking 5 cigars, you're talking like maybe $7 a piece. It's not too bad. You're not going to go into a cigar shop and get a single stick for that kind of price if it's got anybody's name on it that you've heard of. Well, I think there's some of the offerings from Drew Estate, some of their other lines you could probably pick up for somewhere between 5 and 7 a stick. But you know, especially now these embargoes. I mean, hey, I understand if you're going to embargo the Chinese, we don't get scotch and cigars from there. I don't care about them. Uh, but when you're starting to talk about Nicaragua and Honduras and the Dominican Republic and Scotland, yeah, let's go ahead and hold off on that. Last time I checked, uh, they weren't trying to kill us. So anyway, I know y'all don't want to hear about that kind of stuff. It's got a very nice burn line to it. I don't burn my fingers holding this over this fire. right about there, the very tip top of the flames will lick up just to my fingers. So it's literally just off camera. I only put it out here in the wintertime. That way I got something to warm my hands on as I'm out here smoking. Maybe one day I'm gonna have a place I can go inside. That's on my property. It's not gonna be on this property though. I actually could. I tried to pitch this to the to my local homeowners association, and I mean my wife, uh, that I could have a tiki bar out here by the No Shoes Bar and Grill pool, and she wasn't really down with that idea. I mean, I had a great one. It had like on the front side, because it was like a half a house, right? And so there was a wall straight up and down. On this side, it had these big windows. They were solid. You couldn't see through them, but they would open up. They had the uh, piston actuators on them like SUVs do on the tailgate. So they open up, and it had a bar that would flip down, and you could put bar stools out there. People come up. You got your bar there inside. You could have your drinks. You could have your ice chest with ice in it. You could have your water dispenser. All that kind of stuff. And I could set it up on the inside so when it's closed down, it's all tight and buttoned up. I could smoke in there, and I could record these in there. It's a great idea. Everybody loves it. Everybody I've told about loves it. Tell me if you love it. Tell me if you think that's a great idea, because I know it is. Couldn't convince the president of the HOA, though. Mrs. Sticks-n-Stonez was not having it. Yeah, my I hate HOAs. And she knows I hate HOAs. I hate this HOA too. I don't mean her. I mean the one for the neighborhood. Uh, yeah, they sent me a notice one time back a few years ago and said that I had weeds in my grass. I was like, I was raised in the country in Arkansas. If it was green and it grew in your yard, it was grass. Anyway, I had to spend like $3,000 resodding my front yard. Then my wife tells me, I was on on the Facebook page for the neighborhood HOA. She says I called this woman an idiot. And I said, no, I didn't call her an idiot. I said her idea was idiotic, you know. And actually, in my defense, I thought she knew. But anyway, it was this guy. He had posted this thing. I don't know. It's one of the people that live around here. He had a shed, one of those like you buy at Home Depot, a little tool shed thing in his backyard. Well, the HOA rule says that you can't be able to see it from the street. And apparently, you could see the top of it from the street. We had it for 3 years. Then the HOA sent him a notice and said, "You either going to tear it down, or we'll come tear it down for you, and we'll charge you for it." Uh, that's kind of around in there somewhere. Somewhere in there is where the idiotic came from. And um, so by the time the whole conversation was over with all the people in it, I had half the HOA wanting to tar and feather me, and the other half wanting to put me in a rowboat and row me across the community pool with me standing in the front like George Washington. Yeah, my wife told me get off the HOA page, so I did. I hadn't been back on it since. Me and the guy next door, Scott, we're always joking with one another. We'll be out, doing stuff in the yard, and he's like, "Brother, I got to go talk to the HOA tomorrow. Have some bail money ready for me." And I'm like, "I got you, man. I got you. Give me a call." It's like I have altogether a total of about 10 to 12 feet of fence that you can see from the road, because I just have the little sections that go out about 5 or 6 feet on each side of the house, and then it goes straight back between the houses, right? Uh, there's 4 pre-approved stain colors that you can use. You can only use those 4. But you still have to turn in a thing to the HOA and get their approval to use one of the 4 pre-approved stains. That doesn't make any sense to me. If I'm buying the pre-approved stains, why have you got to approve it again? Now look, I understand. There's I do see some benefit in HOAs. We have 2 beautiful entrances. They decorate up really nice for Christmas, and they got guys that come in, they landscape it, mow, plant flowers, do all that kind of stuff. We got a big community pool that I never go to, but to each his own. And then they've got it's a combination basketball court on one end and pickleball court on the other. That's what HOAs are for. Not to tell me that I have weeds in my grass or that I'm trying to use a pre-approved stain color. I don't need you to tell me I'm using a pre-approved stain color. I went and looked in the HOA thing and it said, choose one of these 4 and go buy it. And that's what I did. That means it's approved. I got 2.5 more years until my last one is out of the house. And at that point, me and Mama are packing up the No Shoes Bar and Grill and we're moving out into the country. We're going to buy about 5 or 10 acres. And I'm going to have a place I can do this in that's inside. And we're going to have a pool outside. And ain't nobody going to tell me that I can't build a shed on it if I want to. And it can be seen from the road. Still going great. If you joined us a little late, we're pairing Highland Park 12-year-old with a Antiguedad from my father. The Scotch is 43% alcohol by volume, so 86 proof. It's from the island of Orkney, so it's kind of a fusion between a Highland Scotch and an Island Scotch. There's just a hint of kind of heathered peatiness to it, and just a slight hint of smoke, that's about as far as I go. I am not a real Islay heavy peat, heavy smoke kind of guy. And you're really starting to push my limits with some of the other island scotches like Talisker. I'll drink those. I've got some, but that's about as far as I go. I tried Lagavulin. It tasted like I was drinking ashes out of a campfire. It's a very popular brand. It's just not for me. To each his own, right? But we were getting on the nose. We got kind of honeyed malt and some dried orange peel. We got some soft baking spices and a little touch of brininess, but because you're talking about it's on an island and surrounded by salt sea. On the palate, we had just a little gentle kind of peaty smokiness to it. There was honey and vanilla, toasted oak, just nutmeg and cinnamon. Oh my! Uh, there was a kind of a dried fruit sweetness to it, and then again on the palate, just as in the nose, there was just a touch of salinity, uh, kind of an iodine kind of thing. Um, on the finish, it was kind of a medium finish with kind of warm spices and just a little lingering smokiness with some honeyed malt. It's good stuff. La Antiguedad is from the Garcia family. A little touch up right there. Um, it's got um, aged Nicaraguan tobaccos in it, and it's cloaked in a beautiful uh, Habano Rosado wrapper. That's kind of hard to say. And it offered it's kind of a cedar notes, sweet spice, a little bit of cocoa. Um, there was some uh, leather and pepper in the retro. And kind of now, as we're getting closer to the halfway mark, um, the thought I saw a squirrel. Um, the cigars offered up some earth and some like roasted nuts with a little bit of baking spices. Um, the as I said in the beginning, the restrained heat from the Highland Park 12 and that honeyed sweetness are kind of acting as a counterbalance or steadying out uh, the La Antiguedad's kind of rich Nicaraguan notes. Um, the Scotch kind of lifts the cigar's cocoa and dried fruit, while the cigar kind of deepens the whiskey's spice and oakiness. Um, Neither one's really dominating the other. Um, Instead, the pairing is kind of unfolding slowly and deliberately, and it's rewarding you. It's rewarding your patience with this kind of layered complexity. It is a delicious pairing. It is. It's not like a uh, like blow you away kind of pairing, but it's just a really nice kind of mellow, uh, not too mild, but just kind of a nice mellow smoke and sip. And what else could you ask for? You know. And Highland Park is not a it's not a to show you, yeah, still got some really great stacks of ash going there. Can't hold my hand over there too long. That flame gets hot. Uh, I think it's maybe I've had this bottle a long time, but maybe like $50 a bottle or under, but right around in there somewhere. Uh, so it's really good 12-year-old Scotch. It's something that's different from the Highlander Speyside, which dominate the group as far as single malts go. Uh, so it's got a little bit more structure than that, but it's also not like a heavy, uh, smoky, peaty kind of Scotch from the Islay region. So it's a really nice kind of balance in there. I think you'd really like it. I know you'd really like the cigar. I hope you've enjoyed this pairing as much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you. Please hit like, subscribe, share, notify. Subscribe. You on X and all. You can be a subscriber. $1 a month. I'll send you the pairing notes from my pairings. I'm about to produce a. I've got an article written about to. I'm gonna be putting it out this week on a National Institute of Health um, study that was done um, about that included premium cigar smokers, and you would be shocked, pleasantly surprised at how premium cigar smokers' health was in relation to not only non-premium cigars and cigarette smokers, but to never smokers. I was shocked when I read the study. If it hadn't have been from the National Institute of Health, I would have thought they'd been paid to come up with something like that. But it's great. So anyway, till we get to be together again, keep your sticks dry, stones gold. Have a great day.